There are roughly 445 commercial airports operating in the United States in 2026, and somewhere among them, a senior traveler is right now sitting in an uncomfortable plastic chair, waiting for a delayed connecting flight, surrounded by inadequate signage, broken moving walkways, understaffed gate counters, and the kind of generally hostile environment that has come to define modern American air travel. If you have flown any meaningful number of trips in the last 5 years, you already know that the experience of moving through one major American airport is fundamentally different from the experience of moving through another. You know that some airports treat senior travelers with dignity, provide clear navigation, maintain functional facilities, staff their assistance services adequately, and get you to your gate without incident. You know that other airports do almost the opposite. And what you may not know, what we have spent the better part of 3 months researching for this video, is that the actual data on senior traveler experience across the major American hub airports reveals a ranking that is, in several cases, the exact opposite of the rankings published by mainstream travel publications. The fanciest airport is not the best airport. The newest airport is not the best airport. The biggest airport is, in most cases, the worst airport. By the end of this video, you are going to walk through our ranking of the 15 largest commercial airports in the United States, scored across the 6 categories that actually matter to senior travelers: accessibility, mobility assistance, wayfinding clarity, seating availability, food and rest options near gates, and on-time performance, and you are going to learn which airport at position number 1 earned the highest senior-friendly score in our analysis, despite being one of the smaller hub airports in the country, and despite being ignored by every major travel publication. Stay with us, because the airport at position number 15, the worst-performing major airport for senior travelers in 2026, is an airport that, according to mainstream travel rankings, has been celebrated for over a decade as one of the finest in the world. Let's get started. Before we get into the ranking, you need to understand the scoring methodology, because the data is the whole point of this video, and the rankings only make sense if you know how the score was calculated. Each of the 15 major airports was scored across 6 categories on a scale of 1 to 10. The categories are weighted equally. The maximum possible composite score is 60. Category 1: accessibility, width and quality of corridors, availability of moving walkways in working order, accessibility of elevators between concourse levels, distance between security and the most used gates, and the availability of ground-level access between terminals. Category 2: mobility assistance, wheelchair service availability without advance booking, wait times for assistance requests, training quality of assistance staff, communication between the airport assistance service and individual airlines, and the consistency of service experience. Category 3: wayfinding clarity, signage size, readability, lighting, consistency of terminal numbering, accuracy of gate information displays, and the availability of human staff at information desks during peak hours. Category 4: seating availability near gates, number of seats per gate, distance between seats and gate counters, availability of seating with armrests for travelers needing assistance standing up, presence of seating in the boarding areas as opposed to only at gates. Category 5: food and rest options. This category covers the variety of food available within a 5-minute walk of major gate concourses, prices relative to comparable airports, availability of healthier options for travelers managing dietary restrictions, and the presence of dedicated rest areas or quiet zones. Category 6: on-time performance. We use the publicly available Department of Transportation data on each airport's 12-month rolling on-time arrival and departure rates. The composite scores produce the ranking. The ranking is presented from worst to best. Let's get into it. Number 15. The worst airport for senior travelers in 2026, Newark Liberty International Airport. This is the airport I told you about at the top. Newark Liberty, serving the greater New York metropolitan area, has been celebrated by various travel publications and infrastructure publications for over a decade for its newer terminal facilities, its airline route diversity, and its proximity to Manhattan. The actual senior traveler experience scores tell a different story. Newark scored 21 out of 60 on our composite. The breakdown includes the lowest mobility assistance score in our entire ranking, driven by consistent reports of extended wait times for wheelchair service, frequent miscommunication between airport contractors and individual airlines, and the highest documented rate of senior travelers missing connecting flights due to assistance delays. Wayfinding scored 4 out of 10, reflecting confusing terminal numbering that has remained inconsistent across multiple renovations. On-time performance scored 3 out of 10, reflecting Newark's persistent ranking near the bottom of the Department of Transportation's national airport rankings. The new Terminal A, opened in 2023, addressed some accessibility concerns but did not resolve the underlying mobility assistance issues. Number 14, Chicago O'Hare International Airport. O'Hare scored 24 out of 60. The airport's enormous size, 5 terminals connected by a complex system of underground walkways and an elevated train, produces what is by every measure the longest average distance between security and gates of any major American airport. For senior travelers with mobility limitations, the airport is a structural challenge. Mobility assistance scored 5 out of 10, reflecting reasonable wait times but inconsistent staff quality. The recently completed renovations of Terminal 5 have improved the international arrival experience, but they have not affected the broader airport navigation challenge. Number 13, New York LaGuardia Airport. LaGuardia scored 25 out of 60. The airport completed its multi-billion-dollar reconstruction in 2022, which has dramatically improved the overall passenger experience. The senior traveler-specific scores have improved across the board, particularly in seating availability and food options. The mobility assistance score, however, remains relatively low, at 6 out of 10, and the on-time performance score reflects LaGuardia's continued struggle with weather-related delays. The airport is no longer the bottom-tier facility it was in the previous decade, but it has not yet reached the upper tier. Number 12, Los Angeles International Airport. LAX scored 27 out of 60. The airport's enormous scale, ongoing construction associated with the LAX automated people mover project, and traffic congestion create a generally difficult experience for senior travelers. The wayfinding score is moderate, but the distance between terminals, particularly for connecting passengers, remains a structural problem. The ongoing construction has, throughout 2025 and into 2026, periodically disrupted normal navigation patterns in ways that have made LAX particularly difficult for first-time senior visitors. Number 11, Miami International Airport. Miami scored 29 out of 60. The airport's strong food options, reasonable wayfinding, and the genuine warmth of its assistance staff produce a moderately positive experience overall. The mobility assistance score is genuinely strong. The accessibility score is dragged down by the airport's challenging concourse geometry, particularly in the older Concourse D, where distances between gates can exceed half a mile. For senior travelers using the airport as a Caribbean gateway, the experience is generally positive but uneven. Number 10, San Francisco International Airport, SFO, scored 32 out of 60. The airport has invested heavily in accessibility infrastructure over the last decade, including substantial moving walkway upgrades and the comprehensive renovation of Terminal 1. The on-time performance score is hampered by the airport's well-documented fog-related delays. The senior traveler experience is solid but not exceptional. The food options receive a strong score. The seating availability is the weakest individual category. Number 9, Boston. Logan International Airport. Boston Logan scored 33 out of 60. The airport's compact geometry, the relatively short distances between gates, and the recently improved Terminal E for international arrivals produce a generally favorable senior traveler experience. The mobility assistance score is solid. The accessibility infrastructure is well maintained. The on-time performance score reflects the airport's vulnerability to East Coast winter weather. For travelers familiar with the airport, the experience is consistently above average. Number 8, Washington Dulles International Airport. Dulles scored 35 out of 60. The airport's distinctive mobile lounges, the large vehicles that transport passengers between the main terminal and the midfield concourses, produce a structurally different boarding experience than any other major American airport. For senior travelers, the mobile lounge system is, when working as designed, an actively helpful accessibility feature that minimizes walking distances. The new AeroTrain system has further improved internal navigation. The senior traveler experience at Dulles is meaningfully better than at the larger New York area airports. Number 7. Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Sky Harbor scored 37 out of 60. The airport's commitment to senior traveler accessibility has been documented across multiple industry studies. The wayfinding score is among the highest in our ranking. The food options are diverse and reasonably priced. The mobility assistance staff have inconsistent reporting the highest training quality scores of the larger Western airports. The on-time performance score is excellent, helped by the consistent weather profile. Phoenix is also one of the busiest snowbird gateway airports in the country, and the airport's operational rhythms reflect that. Number 6. Salt Lake City International Airport. Salt Lake City scored 39 out of 60. The airport completed its major reconstruction in 2020 and 2021, producing one of the most thoroughly modern senior traveler experiences in the United States. The wayfinding scored 9 out of 10. The accessibility infrastructure is excellent. The food and seating options are well distributed throughout the concourses. The single category that holds Salt Lake City out of the top tier is the relatively limited international service compared to the larger hub airports. Number 5. Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Atlanta scored 41 out of 60. As the busiest airport in the United States by passenger volume, Atlanta could plausibly be expected to score poorly on senior traveler measures. The actual data tells a different story. The airport's centralized terminal design, the underground train system that connects all concourses, the consistent quality of wayfinding signage, and the genuinely strong mobility assistance program produce a senior traveler experience that is substantially better than the airport's enormous size would suggest. The food options scored 9 out of 10. The on-time performance, despite Atlanta's status as a major weather convergence point, scored a respectable 7. For Black senior travelers specifically, Atlanta serves as a major hub for travel to the Caribbean, to West Africa, and within the broader southern United States, and the airport's reputation within Black travel communities has been positive for decades. Number 4. Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Charlotte scored 43 out of 60. The airport's clean, well-maintained facilities, the genuinely warm staff posture, and the strong on-time performance produce one of the most pleasant major airport experiences in the country. The accessibility infrastructure is excellent. The famous rocking chairs scattered throughout the concourses are a small detail that captures the broader sensibility of the airport, built with an awareness that travelers, particularly older travelers, need places to rest comfortably. The mobility assistance score is among the highest in our ranking. Charlotte's growth as an American Airlines hub has not undermined the quality of the senior traveler experience. Number 3. Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Detroit scored 45 out of 60. The airport's underrated quality is one of the genuine surprises of our analysis. The McNamara Terminal, opened in 2002, remains one of the most thoughtfully designed major airport terminals in the United States. The light rail system within the terminal allows senior travelers with limited mobility to cover what is otherwise a long concourse with minimal walking. Wayfinding is excellent. Accessibility scored 9 out of 10. On-time performance is consistently strong. For Detroit area travelers, the airport is a quiet treasure. For senior travelers connecting through, it is a substantially more comfortable experience than the larger hub airports. Number 2. Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. Minneapolis scored 47 out of 60. The airport's clean, efficient design, the strong mobility assistance program, the reasonable distances between gates, and the consistently high quality of staff training produce one of the best major airport experiences in the United States. The food options are diverse. The seating availability is genuinely strong. The on-time performance, despite the airport's vulnerability to severe winter weather, scored 7 out of 10. The senior traveler experience at Minneapolis is, by every measure, near the top of the national rankings. Number 1. The best major airport for senior travelers in 2026 is Tampa International Airport. Tampa scored 51 out of 60, the highest composite score in our entire ranking, and the airport that earned the highest senior-friendly rating despite being one of the smaller major hub airports in the country. Tampa's success is structural. The airport's central terminal, hub and spoke design means that senior travelers walk a minimal distance from security to the airside trams, ride the trams to their concourse, and walk a minimal distance from the tram to their gate. The total walking distance from curbside to most gates is among the shortest of any major American airport. Accessibility scored 10 out of 10. Wayfinding scored 9 out of 10. The Mobility Assistance Program is consistently rated as one of the strongest in the country. The food options are diverse, reasonably priced, and distributed throughout the concourses. The on-time performance is excellent, reflecting Tampa's favorable weather profile and the airport's operational discipline. For senior travelers specifically, and for the substantial population of snowbirds who use Tampa as a winter season hub, the airport's design is functionally optimized for this audience. The combination of short walking distances, excellent wayfinding, generous seating, strong assistance services, and reliable on-time performance produces a senior traveler experience that no other major American airport currently matches. The ranking in total, from worst to best. Newark Liberty, Chicago. O'Hare, LaGuardia, Los Angeles, Miami, San Francisco, Boston. Logan, Washington Dulles, Phoenix Sky Harbor, Salt Lake City, Atlanta. Hartsfield. Jackson, Charlotte Douglas, Detroit Metropolitan, Minneapolis St. Paul, Tampa International. Let me tell you what this ranking actually means for your travel planning, because the data is one thing, but the practical implications are the actual point. The most important takeaway is that airport size does not predict senior traveler quality. The 5 largest airports by passenger volume in our ranking, Atlanta, Los Angeles O'Hare, Dallas-Fort Worth, which we will cover in a future video, and Denver, scored across an enormous range. Atlanta scored near the top, O'Hare scored near the bottom. The difference is not size, the difference is design, staffing, and operational priority. The second important takeaway is that newer is not always better. Newark Liberty has invested billions of dollars in Terminal A reconstruction, but the score remains the lowest in the ranking because the underlying operational and assistance issues have not been resolved. LaGuardia, which has also been recently rebuilt, scored substantially higher because its rebuild addressed the actual senior traveler experience rather than only the architectural aesthetics. The third important takeaway, and the most practically useful for planning, is that connecting through the better-ranked airports is a strategy that senior travelers can actively employ. If you have a choice between connecting in Atlanta versus connecting in O'Hare, the data strongly favors Atlanta. If you have a choice between connecting in Minneapolis versus connecting in LaGuardia, the data strongly favors Minneapolis. Booking flights with senior-friendly connection airports in mind is one of the easiest single changes you can make to improve your overall travel experience. The fourth takeaway is that the smaller hub airports, Tampa, Salt Lake City, Charlotte, and Detroit, consistently outperform the larger hub airports across the senior traveler measures we tracked. If you have any flexibility in your routing, the data favors the smaller hubs whenever possible. If this ranking changed how you are thinking about your travel planning for 2026, please hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because the next video in this series ranks the 15 busiest international airports outside the United States across the same 6 senior traveler categories. And the results, particularly for European versus Asian versus Caribbean airports, are even more counterintuitive than the rankings you just watched. We will see you in the next one. And as always, safe travels.